We start off with an update on Matt Ioannidis. We saw him out there. He had to go back up to the building. And then also Samus's knee.
Yep. And Samus is dealing with a knee, and Matt's, we're bringing Matt along.
Is it more about conditioning from at this point?
Yeah, probably.
And then with the officials here, you have some young defensive backs and all that early in camp, probably a little bit handsy. How have you seen that help them even over the 2 days to kind of get used to what they need to be doing technique-wise?
And that's exactly it, John, is they're getting a feeling and understanding just how handsy they are getting from the referee's perspective. And that's the most important thing because, again, we ask the referees to interpret, and when they see it, they've done a great job helping us by pointing it out.
Have you seen it and then already adjust to that?
Oh, yeah. I see them talking about it and trying to get a feel for it.
Just seeing you talking to Jamin Davis quite a bit after practice without breaching confidence with your players. Just generally, what has been your message to him as he comes in as a rookie and gets adjusted to all this?
Is that he most certainly can. I was very fortunate. We had a guy named Luke Kuechly that was in the same situation, and so in talking to Jamin, I used some of those examples about hey, it's okay. You are a rookie, but it's okay to be up there, be that guy, to be that leader. And that's what he's done, and I just wanted to reassure him.
Mm-hmm. And James Smith-Williams saw him getting some time with the ones in the last team period. What have you seen from him? How has he grown over the last year? You see him starting to step up a little bit more. It's going to be important too because he's going to be part of a rotation. We had a veteran guy here last year that had a tremendous career, and he's got big shoes to fill. So he's going to have to do the things that he needs to do to give himself an opportunity and give us a chance to have a third guy as part of a rotation. So do you view him in sort of the Kerrigan role from last year?
Potentially. I mean, that's what we're looking for. I mean, because truthfully, you get into a game, you really want to rotate everybody, but you want a third that you can truly rely on.
Vaccination question for you and one wacky question. You guys seem to be up to about 84% first shot. Are you pleased with the progress of where you guys are at and kind of the going in the right direction in terms of vaccinations?
I like the fact that we're trending up.
You had Sammy Reyes told us in the spring. Reyes and Sam Cosmi told us they drove for DoorDash and stuff during the pandemic. What does it say about young guys like that they're willing to kind of put the work in to try to make ends meet, doing something like that's not football related?
Well, it just tells you that they're serious about trying to accomplish their goals, and that's what you want. You want this is a serious situation, great opportunity. You want guys taking advantage. You want guys putting themselves in position to take advantage more so than anything else.
Sam Cosmi has been out here for a week. How much growth have you seen from him?
A lot. I really have, especially because of who he's practicing against and how he's been practicing. I like the fact that he's not backing down from anybody. I like the fact that he's challenging. I like the fact who he's practicing against because he is getting a high-level education right now.
Yeah. Do you think he has the potential to be a starter?
Yes, he does. But he's got to continue to work and continue to show us and continue to have the success that he's having in his development and growth.
Obviously, with Cam Curl, you used him in a lot of different situations last year. You talk about wanting versatile defensive backs. Are you guys leaning into his coverage skills even more this year, now that he's maybe a little more comfortable than you did maybe even a year ago?
I think we used him, what we thought was appropriately. I thought he did a really nice job. The biggest thing that you see the difference is you see a little more experience. Last year, I'm trying to remember the game we played it. We had him on the tight end. Tight end did what we call a spray release, which kind of pushed him out a little bit and created some separation. And he rolled, but he didn't roll properly. Now you watch him and you see that he's gained that experience. He gets a specific release. He rolls with it a specific way. He understands and he's got a better feel. I don't think we necessarily are going to rely on one thing or the other. We just really appreciate the fact that he's getting better.
And even with these versatile defensive backs, how unique is it to have a guy who has been a strong safety, played some corner in college, you seem like you're using him a little maybe at free, to have a guy to be able to play at all those spots and do it at a pretty good level?
That, I think, is something that is unique to guys that have that skill set. It is exciting when you do have a guy that plays a safety position that played corner at one point in his career, because he's got cover skills beyond being in the post or being in the half or being in the quarter. You have a guy that has a skill that, hey, I can drop down into a zone and understand the concepts and then turn around and play some man and be able to cover a tight end or a back a little more closely, a little more tighter, And even in a situation, if he ends up on a big wide receiver, he can run with. And then you take a guy like Bobby McCain, who's a little bit smaller, and he ends up in the slot, ends up on a wide receiver. You appreciate that because, again, that's a safety that had played corner, that had played nickel.
You mentioned Steven Sims the other day, looking kind of explosive in the underneath. I'm just curious, like, how much can camp contribute to a guy, like, or your perception of a guy? Like, how much can it reset your perception of, based on what they did last year? Kind of, is it a new page? Yeah.
Oh, most certainly. Because again, for us coming in as a new coaching staff and looking at everybody, that was a first glance. Now we've had a year under our belt. We had a relatively normal OTAs and mini camp sessions, and now we're having a relatively normal training camp situation. And you see guys, and what you're looking for is that next step. Did they learn from last year? Are they improving from last year, or are they digressing? And when you watch a guy like Steven perform the way he is and has lately, you do see the jump. So that's a huge step, and it's part of our judging and watching and grading as these guys go through it.
He was a pretty effective for this team in 2019. Last year it was what it was, but I was just curious, like, did you identify any reason for the drop off or anything why he kind of struggled last year?
I think having to learn and re-understand our concepts, and I shouldn't say re-understand, I should just say learn our concepts and understand our concepts.
And then just one quick one real fast on Curtis Samuel, just being in quarantine, is he allowed to do anything like to help his groin?
Yeah, I imagine he is. I know he talks daily with our trainers, so he's probably getting treatment, or doing treatments, something like that.
And as Kyle deals with his injury and recovers from that, are you going to keep the quarterbacks at 3, or are you looking to bring in a 4th for just competition?
Well, we don't expect Kyle to be out that much longer. It is day to day, and right now Steven Montez is getting some extra reps, so he's trying to take advantage of them.